everybody. I'm Christine Thomas O'Mealy, owner-proprietor of Metzoid Voice Studio, and welcome to Warmup Wednesday. Today I would like to talk about vocal onsets. In other words, how do you start singing? Last week I talked about releases, which is how you stop singing, and I said that there were three wrong ways, and one right way, and I did specify that this was from a classical perspective and that there are some occasions in which you can use a wrong way for effect depending on the style that you're singing in. The same thing is true of onsets. So I want to introduce you to the idea of the two incorrect onsets and then the correct one and variations that work depending on what you're singing. So, first thing you need to know is that the glottis is the space between your vocal folds, and when you inhale, it opens, and when you exhale and start to make sound, your vocal cords come together. The way they come together determines the quality of sound. If they don't come together hardly at all, you have a breathy little sound. Breathy little sound because your vocal folds aren't coming together all the way and they can't resonate. And you notice I'm very quiet when I'm doing that because you cannot be very loud when you are breathy. The other way is too much breath pressure, where if breathy singing is not enough to keep the vocal folds vibrating, then a hard onset or glottal onset is when you're banging your vocal cords together. Now, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you do have to have a hard onset when you're saying I, our, egg, ugly. I'm trying to think of vowel words. You have to have some glottal presence there. Otherwise, we wouldn't understand what you're saying. But it shouldn't be too hard. So if I do or staying alive. I know. Anyway, that's how I learned about what a hard onset was the Bee Gees. So it's a Bee Gees attack. So it's also referred to as an attack as opposed to an onset because it's like, we don't want to do anything that involves with your vocal cords unless, of course, there's a reason for it. So what we're looking for is the balanced or coordinated onset when your vocal folds come together in a controlled way and they vibrate fully and they're able to pivot so that when you're singing on the edge of them for your upper register, when you're singing on the full chord for your lower register, that everything is easy peasy. So for example, when you sigh, oh, oh, oh. Notice that is a vowel. It is a clear vowel, but it isn't oh, which hurts. Oh, oh, well. Oh, well. If I wanted to hit that as oh, well, that's breathy. If I hit it with the hard onset, oh, well, it's not very comfortable. So I want to avoid that. I want to try to find that feeling of, oh, 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 oh. I was taught, it was a book by Lara Browning Henderson, and she talked of the imaginary H, the idea that you're thinking of an H right before you come in. That was what I was taught. Another way to do it is with a pilot consonant, but I would watch out for that because it can become a habit. For example, now, if you are working on trying to get that coordinated onset and you're having trouble, if you would do and then get rid of the NG to kind kind of find that place. But you want to watch out for inserting pilot consonants where they don't belong. And I want to talk about that another time. Perhaps next week, perhaps next year, we'll see. Um, they're a crutch, and crutches are for when you have a weak limb. So, when I had my knee surgery, I was on a crutch for a couple days. When I didn't need it, I didn't need the crutch anymore. If I should hurt myself again, I will need the crutch again. So, but right now I don't. So if you need the crutch to find, fine, use it. Get rid of it as soon as you can. Other things that people do is vocal fry, which gets a bad rap, probably from listening to people on NPR, because they talk like that a lot. And that is kind of harsh to listen to after a while, but it can be used in music. For example, my name is Regina George, and I am a massive deal. She is using a little fry because it sounds very sexy. So it's there, you hear it there, you hear it when people are crying. You hear it a lot in country music, especially like if I was listening to the young Katie Lang, and she was singing just a kiss, I have never felt like this, I can't explain. And anyway, I'm not a country singer, but it's a little, and basically that is, your chords are very relaxed. This is a sound you make in the morning when you just wake up and somebody says it's time to get up, and you go, oh no, I don't want to go. And sometimes I use that creaky sound to work with people on getting rid of a breathy onset or working through a specific part of their range. If they're going, but you have to be careful. It has to be I don't want to get up. It has to be very relaxed and loose. Your vocal folds are just barely touching. There's a lot of air, but there's not a lot of closure. I hope I'm saying that right. It's just very, there's not a lot of pressure. If there's pressure, that is the sound when you're giving birth or bearing down, lifting something heavy. Fill in the blank there for yourself. And you don't really want that. We do not want that kind of sound. So watch out. Watch out that you don't feel pressure. If it's just, then you're okay. You can also cry like a witch cackle. That's really effective for finding mix in your upper register. I'll get you, my pretty. So, when is it okay to do this kind of stuff? It is okay when you are using it sparingly for effect. It is okay if it's not in the extremes of your range, not in the very top. I mean, I would do that only up to about, maybe there. I think F is about as high as I would take that pharyngeal voice, witch cackle, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to get too loud, especially. I don't want to take it too low either. But if I'm going, that's fine. I don't want to do it loudly because it's not comfortable. Same thing for breathy. I don't want to be breathy on a high note. That won't be comfortable. It won't be effective. I don't want to do it in my bottom register either. I don't want to do it all the way through a song. That's my water thing telling me to drink water. I don't want to do it all the time. I don't want to be breathy all the time. Um, Quiet dynamic, or if I'm being mic'd. But remember, a mic is not going to make your sound clear. So if you are breathy, it is going to be just loud and breathy. Just like if your sound is pressed, it's going to be loud and pressed. The microphone is not going to fix your sound. Maybe if you have a sound engineer, he can fix your sound. But otherwise, nope. So that's all I have time for today. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll be back next week. Thanks.